Hey you, welcome to my channel. It's really good to have you here. This is going to be an interesting video, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification because there is more where this came from. It's a lovely Sunday evening in Naraland and what I'm craving is AKARA. I love AKARA so much. I love AKARA so much that at some point in my life, I thought that was what I was going to do with my life. Like, I was like, I'm going to start selling AKARA. Like, everybody deserves a taste of this. That's how much I love AKARA. It's a long story, so let me not even get into it. So this night, I'm going to be having AKARA, and usually I would have it with pap. Oh, but I'm not really feeling like pap this night. I'm feeling a bit spicy, so I want something that matches my energy. So I'm going to be having it with hot pepper sauce. This video is just for the AKARA, but if you want to see how I make my hot pepper sauce, I'm going to be posting it after this one. That being said, here are the ingredients. We have the MOC, which is the bean flour, baking powder, salt, and some water. And finally, some vegetable oil. Let's get to cooking. Starting up, I bring a clean bowl and measure out a cup of bean flour and pour inside. Warm. And then I bring my baking powder and I'm going to be using half teaspoon of this. Warm. So what this baking powder does is make your AKARA fluffy. That is the secret to a fluffy AKARA. So I mix. Whoever came up with this recipe, this is not my original recipe, but when I discovered this, it was like the holy grail. Because, I mean, we all know the origin of AKARA now. So I'm adding a cup of water right now. Yeah. And I'm going to mix it up. And if it's not enough, I'll add more. So mix. Like I was saying, we all know the origin of AKARA. Like, you have to start from the beans. You have to wash the beans, peel it, sieve it out, and then grind it and all that. Okay, so this is the consistency I have now. I'm going to add more water. Yeah, so this is about that one was about a quarter cup of water. But back to my story. So yeah, I'm getting the consistency I want now. I'm just all over the place, but so this recipe is a lifesaver. Basically, it's a lifesaver because imagine going through all that grinding inside the mortar and pestle. That's after you've grinded the beans, so it's not like you're literally smashing the beans in the mortar and pestle, although some people actually do that. But when I discovered this recipe, when I started on my own, because I love AKARA so much and I would rather make it than buy. So yeah, this consistency is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and yeah, collect it, bring it all together, and get my spoon. I just want to scrape everything out. Don't worry, I'll continue my story. I have not lost my train of thoughts. Just want to gather this together, then use this spoon and scrape it out the spatula. My mom, she does not believe in wasting any particle of food. So she's the one I learned this from. You have to scrape every single thing out and put it into the plates. Because, I mean, why, when there are people dying of hunger, even if there are nobody dying of hunger, my mom will still tell you to finish that food. Make sure everything enters where it's meant to be. So right now I'm going to cover it up. Yeah, so that the baking powder can do its thing. I'm going to set it aside for 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll set it aside for 15 minutes. When I come back, I'll continue my story.
15 minutes later.
We're back and I open it up. It doesn't really rise. Yeah, you know, like baking powder is to make it rise, but it doesn't really rise. It just gives it that potential of rising. So what I'm going to do now is another technology that stole my heart. These technologies, the baking powder and this mixer I'm going to be using to turn this AKARA now, they're the ones that took it to a whole other level for me when it comes to AKARA. So I get my mixer and I start mixing. And it takes me back to being at home. Because me, every Sunday, I would always tell my mom,
whenever she asks, what are we having for breakfast? I'll just be like, let's have akara. And she'll just look at me and think, you don't have strength to mix this akara, but you will be the one to keep saying, let's do akara. Okay, I just added a tablespoon, not a tablespoon, a half teaspoon, no, not half teaspoon, a teaspoon of salt to the akara. Usually I will add the pepper here, but because I'm having a pepper sauce, I'm not putting pepper, so I'm just going to continue mixing. And yeah, so with this mixer, it just made me like, I just pop into the kitchen and I just whip akara up because it took the labor out of it. It just took it completely out. It just did, like, how else can I say it? It just removed the whole mechanics out of making akara. So yeah, because me, I don't have the strength to do all that. I think I've gotten to the consistency I want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just letting it, spill off from the mixer. I'm going to bring my spatula and bring it all together, because I am my mother's daughter. No food is going to waste. So I'm just bringing it all together. Yeah, look at what I'm talking about. See, my manpower cannot do this. It's only my mother's manpower that can get akara to this point, but thank God to technology. So this is a spoon I'm using. I like to fry my akara in bite sizes. I don't like akara that I'll have to keep biting into and keeping biting into because I eat in very small quantities. So that's why I'm using this spoon. This is the spoon I use to scoop akara into the oil. So now I'm turning everything because the other side is done. Flipping them, akara na toba. So I flip them one by one, and this is such a joy. Like anytime I'm making akara, I can't just help but just tell myself we are really living our dreams. Like, because then I'll be like, when I grow up, I'm going to invest something to make cooking very easy. Like there are so many mechanics when it comes to making a lot of our local food, and probably because white people are not eating it with us, that's why they've not invented it. I keep saying that. So when I discover new technologies that make cooking easier, it's always like a chart. I'm like, okay, someone went before me and did it. Thank you, Messiah. Thank you, our food Messiah. So they are all flipped, and I'm going to let them keep frying while I bubble up in excitement and wait for my akara to be ready. I think we're at that point now. Yeah, they're all looking good. So let me start scooping it out. Look at how good. Just look at now. If I sold you this akara now for 100 naira, won't you buy it from me? No, just no. Say the truth. Won't you buy it? Of course you buy it. So put it into the sieve. Throw it in with the rest. Time to dish. Ta-da! Ooh. Oh my God, this is so satisfying to look at. Let's take a moment and just appreciate this God's gift to us. Just look at, just negodi. Remember, if you want to see the recipe for this peppered sauce, I'm going to be posting it after this one. So 5 days, stay tuned.
You know what time it is? It's tasting time. So you've seen the akara, it came out perfect. Like, I can't get it wrong. If I was going to build a business on this, of course it's going to be perfect. So, well, let's just give it a taste test. Let's see if tonight's one lives up to the hype. So I'm getting some peppered sauce. This pepper sauce, like Ijireke area, you just take it little by little so that you don't hurt yourself by yourself.